This inventory documents the weapons and demolition tools used by U.S. Navy Special Operations Forces in World War II, including Navy Scouts and Raiders, underwater demolition teams, and related maritime sabotage elements. These systems supported raids, reconnaissance, and beach obstacle clearance in wet, confined environments where portability and reliability were decisive. The term Navy SEALs did not exist in World War II. This list covers verified wartime predecessors within that scope. Before we continue, tell us, where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. Trust me, you're going to love this series. Sidearms. A sidearm was the constant backup when long guns were slung, stowed, or soaked during climbing, swimming, and charge placement. Colt M1911A1. The M1911A1 provided immediate close-range defense and a compact weapon that remained usable when hands were occupied with ropes, boats, or explosives. Its defining feature was the 45 ACP cartridge in a locked breech pistol built for durability under rough handling. In World War II, it was carried widely in amphibious and shipboard contexts, including personnel attached to raiding and demolition tasks. It delivered strong short-range effect with simple manual controls. Its legacy is a dependable secondary weapon that stayed relevant wherever conditions were harsh. Submachine guns. Submachine guns addressed sudden close fights in boats, jungle approaches, bunkers, and ship corridors where burst fire mattered more than range. Thompson M1928A1. The M1928A1 filled the need for controllable automatic fire during assaults and raids, delivering rapid stopping power at short distance. Its defining feature was 45 ACP burst capability paired with solid construction and handling that supported short, decisive bursts. In World War II, it appeared with U.S. forces in tight terrain and during amphibious actions where immediate volume of fire could break contact or clear positions quickly. Weight was the major drawback for men moving by water. It proved highly effective in close quarters and set expectations for raiding firepower. Thompson M1. The M1 kept the Thompson's close combat role while simplifying production for wartime scale. Its defining feature was a more economical design that retained 45 ACP performance and practical burst control. In operational use, it supported security and assault work where a dependable submachine gun was needed in dirty, wet conditions associated with coastal operations. It remained effective at the distances typical of raids and shipboard engagements, where fast reaction mattered more than precision. Its legacy is a streamlined Thompson that preserved battlefield value while meeting industrial demand. Thompson M1A1. The M1A1 further simplified the Thompson to meet demand without changing its purpose. A defining feature was the streamlined bolt and firing system that reduced machining while keeping the same cartridge and overall handling. In combat, it served short, decisive engagements where quick bursts and immediate readiness mattered in confined spaces. Reliability remained strong when maintained, but weight still punished long movement by water and rough terrain. It demonstrated that wartime simplification could preserve effectiveness while accelerating mass issue. M3 submachine gun, grease gun. The M3 was developed to provide automatic fire in a cheaper, lighter package, solving cost and bulk issues of earlier designs. Its defining feature was stamped metal construction that reduced production time while keeping 45 ACP compatibility and straightforward maintenance. Late in World War II, it appeared where compact firepower and simple servicing were valued around vehicles, boats, and beachheads. It lacked refinement and sights were basic, but it functioned at the ranges that mattered for close contact. Its legacy is utilitarian efficiency, a functional submachine gun, optimized for scale rather than elegance. Rifles and carbines. When missions demanded reach or sustained defense beyond pistol distance, rifles and carbines provided overwatch and fighting power ashore after insertion. M1 Garand. The M1 Garand gave U.S. forces semi-automatic rifle fire, solving the slow rate of bolt-action systems in fast engagements. Its defining feature was full-power 30-06 performance fed by an 8-round en-bloc clip, enabling rapid follow-up shots with service range authority. In World War II, it supported amphibious operations and perimeter defense where distance and accuracy mattered more than compact carry. It proved reliable and decisive, though heavy for highly mobile teams operating around water and obstacles. Its legacy is a benchmark infantry rifle that defined U.S. rifle firepower in the war. M1 Carbine. The M1 Carbine was intended as a light shoulder weapon for personnel who needed more than a pistol but less than a full rifle. Its defining feature was low weight and quick handling in .30 carbine, suited to movement around boats, brush, and built-up edges. For naval special operations, it fit reconnaissance and security where carry comfort mattered during climbs, swims, and demolition work. Range and penetration were limited compared to .30-06 weapons, but speed and portability were real advantages. Its legacy is a highly portable service weapon that matched the demands of mobility-first roles. Springfield M1903. The M1903 was built as a strong, accurate bolt-action rifle, meeting the need for dependable marksmanship with standard ammunition. Its defining feature was robust .30-06 performance in a design suited to deliberate, aimed fire. In World War II, it continued in roles where semi-automatic rifles were limited, or where training and secondary issue made sense. For maritime units, it was less convenient than carbines, but it could still provide accurate fire when required and supported disciplined shooting. Its legacy is precision and durability, representing the earlier service rifle standard that remained useful through wartime transition. Springfield M1903A3. The M1903A3 was a simplified wartime version intended to keep rifles in production while easing manufacturing demands. Its defining feature was rationalized production with simplified sights and more stamped parts, while retaining the same .30-06 role and reliability. In operational use, it filled secondary needs and supplemented forces where newer weapons were prioritized elsewhere. It offered dependable function and adequate accuracy, but lacked the rapid-fire advantage that defined the later war's infantry combat tempo. Its legacy is pragmatic continuity, keeping proven rifles available when industrial capacity was under strain. Shotguns. Shotguns were selected for maximum immediate effect at very short range, especially in thick vegetation and confined compartments where spread and stopping power were decisive. Winchester Model 1897 Trench Gun. Model 1897 trench configuration addressed close quarters fighting by delivering rapid 12-gauge fire with a rugged pump-action mechanism. Its defining feature was hard service reliability and fast cycling in confined spaces, producing decisive effect at close range. In World War II, it was used by U.S. forces where engagements were measured in steps, jungle trails, bunkers, and shipboard security, where immediate stopping power mattered more than precision. It depended on close range and steady ammunition supply, but within that envelope, it was extremely effective. Its legacy is a specialist close combat tool that excelled where distance collapsed. Winchester Model 12. The Model 12 served the same close range requirement with a smooth, durable pump-action shotgun built for hard service. Its defining feature was strong construction and reliable cycling in 12-gauge, supporting repeated use under harsh conditions. In World War II, it appeared for close quarters where decisive hits were required quickly, including Pacific fighting and protective duties around ships and facilities. It was not a long-range battlefield arm, but it performed strongly within its intended distance and role. Its legacy is reliability, a service shotgun that delivered consistent close quarters performance. Suppressed and special purpose firearms. Some missions demanded discretion where a loud report could compromise timing, extraction routes, and broader operational security. High Standard HDM .22 LR suppressed pistol. The HDM addressed low signature engagement at very short range for clandestine tasks. Its defining feature was an integral suppressor on a .22 LR semi-automatic pistol, prioritizing quiet operation over raw stopping power. In World War II, it was associated with intelligence-linked operations where discretion was critical and targets could be engaged at close distance without immediate alarm. Practical use demanded careful shot placement in controlled conditions, since terminal effect was limited. It reduced detection risk rather than replacing standard arms. Its legacy is specialization, a purpose-built suppressed pistol for covert work in the wartime toolkit. Edged weapons and close combat tools. Knives were constant tools for cutting lines and preparing charges, and they remained a last resort weapon when firearms could not be used. Ka-Bar USN Mark II Fighting Knife. The USN Mark II pattern met the need for a sturdy combat and utility blade, replacing fragile or overly narrow designs. Its defining feature was a strong clip-point blade and grip, built for leverage, useful for cutting, prying, and general fieldwork alongside close defense. In World War II, it saw wide naval use during landings and demolition tasks where a dependable tool was always needed in salt, sand, and hard handling. It was not only a fighting knife, it was daily equipment. Its legacy is standardization, a widely adopted blade that balanced combat capability with real utility. Fairbairn Sykes Fighting Knife. The Fairbairn Sykes was designed for silent close-in combat, addressing the need for a purpose-built stabbing knife for raids and clandestine action. Its defining feature was a slender double-edged blade and balanced hilt optimized for thrusting technique and rapid employment. In World War II, it was tied to commando and intelligence training pipelines and appeared with operatives conducting covert tasks, including maritime infiltration contexts. It offered excellent fighting function but limited utility for heavy work compared to broader knives. Its legacy is doctrinal, a knife built around silent entry and close combat, not general-purpose field tasks. Demolition explosives and sabotage systems. For UDT and related elements, the decisive capability was access. Clearing obstacles, breaching barriers, and disabling targets with predictable explosives and reliable initiation. TNT Demolition Blocks. TNT blocks provided predictable blasting power for obstacle reduction, solving the need for a stable explosive that could be transported, stored, and placed under pressure. A defining feature was consistency. Charges could be measured and scaled for different targets and conditions. In World War II, amphibious operations, demolition teams used block explosives to open lanes through beach obstacles and destroy selected structures that blocked assault momentum. Results depended on correct sizing, placement, and initiation, especially under surf and enemy fire. Its legacy is reliability, a stable explosive foundation for planned demolition when conditions were unstable. C2 Demolition. Explosive C2 served as a moldable demolition explosive, solving problems posed by irregular targets and awkward placements. Its defining feature was plasticity, allowing teams to pack explosive against beams, posts, and structural elements to maximize cutting or breaching effect. In World War II coastal obstacle work, flexible placement improved results when time was short and water movement complicated setups. It still required correct priming and careful handling, particularly in wet environments where secure placement was difficult. Its legacy is adaptability, giving demolition personnel a charge they could shape to the target rather than forcing the target to fit the charge. Satchel Charges. Satchel Charges concentrated significant explosive power into a portable package, addressing rapid breaching needs during raids and assaults. Their defining feature was mobility, a prepared charge that could be carried, emplaced, and initiated quickly, reducing exposure time during placement. In World War II, they supported demolitions against obstacles and selected facilities where speed and simplicity were essential to keep operations moving. They were effective but hazardous, demanding disciplined timing, secure initiation methods, and clear safety procedures to prevent premature detonation. Their legacy is practical assault demolition, portable, blast power that matched the tempo of raids and landings. Primacord, Detonating Cord. Detonating cord solved the problem of reliably transmitting initiation across distance, letting teams link multiple charges and control timing. Its defining feature was an explosive core that detonated rapidly, enabling synchronized firing of separate charges without bulky wiring and multiple initiators. In World War II demolition patterns, it supported obstacle clearance schemes where coordinated effects were required under pressure, including multi-charge lane creation. Proper routing and protection were essential to prevent breaks, snags, or unintended initiation. Its legacy is control, making complex demolition sequences workable under combat conditions. Blasting caps. Blasting caps provided dependable initiation for main charges, solving the critical step of turning stored explosive into a controlled detonation. Their defining feature was sensitivity and compatibility with standard firing methods, allowing TNT, C2, and Satchel Charges to be triggered as planned. In World War II operations, they were fundamental to obstacle clearance and sabotage, used in wet, stressful conditions where a misfire could end the mission or trap a team on the wrong side of a barrier. Strict handling discipline was required to prevent accidents. Their legacy is foundational. Without reliable initiation, demolition capability collapses. Bangalore Torpedoes. Bangalore Torpedoes were developed to breach obstacles by delivering explosive force through a standoff tube, solving the need to clear barriers without direct hand placement on the target. A defining feature was modular tubing that could be assembled and extended into wire or obstacles, then detonated to open a lane. In World War II amphibious settings, such systems supported clearing tasks when rapid paths were needed for follow-on movement and assault momentum. They demanded time and exposure to emplace properly, especially under fire. Their legacy is standoff breaching, creating access when direct placement was too slow or too dangerous. Limpet Mines. Limpet Mines were designed for maritime sabotage, solving the problem of disabling shipping and harbor assets through covert placement rather than direct engagement. Their defining feature was attachment to hulls or structures, often below the waterline, with timed initiation to permit escape and reduce immediate detection. In World War II clandestine operations, they were used against vessels and infrastructure when surface attack was impractical or too visible. Success depended on access, swimmer skill, timing, and operational security more than firepower. Their legacy is precision sabotage, a compact way to threaten major assets through stealth and placement. In conclusion, World War II naval special operations relied on a tight, mission-driven toolkit. Compact automatic weapons for sudden close contact, practical knives for constant utility, and demolition systems that converted reconnaissance into access. The recurring requirements were reliability in wet environments, portability during climbing and swimming, and standardized components that supported training and supply. Together, these weapons and charges shaped what raids, landings, and obstacle clearance missions could accomplish, proving that specialized maritime operations depended as much on dependable tools as on bold tactics.